Hi. It appears that street momentum lays with the contending factions of the ultraright and those populist elements that shade into them. This is because, painful it is to relate, combined circumstances have enabled them to finally begin capitalising on unremitting years of online propaganda, surprisingly, on the surface, unsophisticated, but nevertheless prodigious, and it's now finally merging with the climate of fear, abandonment, and social and political breakdown. And it's already sunk roots into a substantial section of disenfranchised, alienated, and ignored working class communities. Recently, and right now, attention is focused on migrant hotels, the occupants on the receiving end of anger and frustration. If by a miracle this fades away, then the ultra-right have a couple of other interrelated subjects to attract attention and fuel their momentum. Things that are rarely out of the news and certainly the rumour mill. First of all, the grooming gangs and their past and continuing activity result in court cases and inquiries to keep the cauldron boiling. The other, more importantly for the future reference, is the growing perception of organised power of the Muslim vote, operating in its own sectarian interests, electing mayors, councillors, and now these independent MPs. The growing presence of this power on the streets, ghettoisation, and burqa'd up to the eyeballs women with pressure exerted in their versions of the culture wars and the impression of gradual takeover in certain geographical areas and the belief that within a short period of time we'll all be living under a form of Sharia law. As absurd as most of this may sound, it's now becoming a generalised belief in an increasing demographic of white and Afro-Caribbean working class populations and beyond. This myth of takeover has been the staple of ultra-right propaganda for years, and it's now beginning to resonate. Liberal leftists, cocooned in their respective bubbles, find it difficult to comprehend. These three interrelated subjects can be exploited simultaneously, singularly, leaping from one to the other, and who will gain from it, as if we didn't know. And more importantly, how can this be reversed? Not to retain the system and the establishment, but to push it in another direction altogether and create something different and a hell of a lot better. But who, may I ask, is seriously up for this task? And now, under what circumstances will they begin to seriously organise, even initiating open dialogue between themselves, considering none of the phony opposition is fit for purpose? Mere keyboard warriors, busy attacking each other and still waging pronoun wars. Bye.